Hey everybody, welcome back to Sensei Steve Says, hosted by Shiage Do Martial Arts. Today we're going to be working on some self-defense, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit of how you can do some self-defense stuff even if you don't have a partner. Now, obviously, self-defense works best when you have a partner, when you have somebody else that you can work with, but also when we have, restrictions where you can't see other people, sometimes it makes it a little more difficult. Sometimes your parents, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, whoever, don't have time to work out with you in the way that you want. So I'm going to give you a couple exercises that you can use to kind of get around that. So the first part and the most important part is visualization, okay? I'm not talking about like meditation or anything like that. I'm talking about visualization. What you want to do is effectively imagine all of the parts of a punch or kick or technique coming at you that you would see. Now, if you're not immediately imagining what I'm telling you about, what you should do is go in front of a mirror and then nice and slow, just get in a guard, throw a punch. Come from a no guard and throw a punch. What you're looking for are the little bits and pieces and changes and things that happen when you're throwing your technique. For instance, if I'm going to be throwing a hook punch, right? If I'm out on the street, generally the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see who's around me, right? This is speaking from experience, right? As if somebody's attacking you, they're going to be looking around. They want to see if they have backup, if you have backup, or where the cops are, right? It's generally the first thing that goes through a lot of people's head. Second thing is they're going to be balling their fist up, right? Because they've got that tension. They want to fight. They're all revved up, and whether that's in a guard or just down here, they're getting ready, right? They're getting their fists tight and all that stuff. So they're looking around. It might just be a quick kind of like look, right? They tighten their fist, and then the punch actually starts. Probably going to be dropping the shoulder back as they start to lean in, right? As it starts coming around, and it's finally starting to move forward, right? But by the time my punch actually starts, my knees, my hips, my upper body have all been moving for a while. So that's the kind of stuff that I want to be thinking about, right? My pre-contact cues, my telegraph, the telegraphing that the other person's doing, that kind of stuff, that I really want to cue in on. If you're having a hard time seeing that, watch yourself do it in the mirror. Slow it down a couple times, right? Just think about throwing a punch, right? Throwing a punch. If you see what I'm doing, right? Is this the cleanest punch in the world? No. Are they going to be punching you the cleanest in the world? Probably not. So try it a bunch of different ways. Maybe throw a straight punch. Maybe throw a punch from a guard. Maybe throw a hook punch that comes out of nowhere. But you want to try some of those things. The other thing you want to do is if you've got like a heavy bag or something, what you want to be doing is practicing your blocks with some resistance. For instance, right? If we just take the side block out of context, right? And I get this up here. When I throw my side block, it normally stops at the outside edge of my body. So if I was doing this, it would slap and stop right here. However, if I want to practice my blocks with a little bit of oomph, I need to have some resistance. Now, if you're lucky enough to have like resistance bands, those rubber things, those work great. You grab it in two hands, you start it on your hip, and it stretches as it comes across. If you don't, then a heavy bag or a padding on a wall or something to that effect is going to work in your best interest, because what you're going to do is line your shoulder up to the middle of it, right? And you're going to push through, right? As hard as you can. So if I'm doing these techniques, say if I'm doing a side block punch, I want it to be a side block and a punch. I want that block to get the power as much as I want that punch to get the power. So if I were practicing that particular combo, right, my upper body basic side block punch, I might do it where I block and hit a few times, and then where I block off the bag and punch a few times. I'm practicing both sides. I'm going to give you a few techniques here to practice with that you don't need a bag to do. Okay, you can practice it as simply with you can do it with like a bow stuck in your couch so that you get the motion of moving around another object, or whatever. Okay, so think about that. practice that maybe a couple times in front of a mirror, or if you don't have a mirror, just think about it. What are the things? What does a punch look like? All right. When we come back, I'm going to bring Sifu out. We've got some self-defense techniques I want you guys to practice. All right, so welcome back. So we've got Sifu with us today. We're going to be working on some self-defense. Now, as I said before, if you have to do this alone, right, what I want you to do is watch how we do it together, and then you guys are going to go from there. My suggestion, just so that you guys don't hurt yourselves, is if you have a watch or something, you probably want to take it off. I wear my Fitbit all the time to karate, but once I start doing self-defense, I always want to take it off, because not just because I'm worried about hurting myself, but if that's kind of fragile, so you can break your electronics if you've got an expensive smartwatch or something, or if I do a strong side block or a back fist or something into my partner, I could cause damage to them, so I don't want any of that. So, starting off today, we're going to do 2 main attacks. The first one's going to be a series of 2 punches. The first one we're going to do is going to be 2 punches, a punch to the body and a punch to the face. Now from here, in my guard, I'm either going to be in kind of like a no guard, where my hand, I never want my hands just down. Right? That's a terrible place for them, because it takes forever for them to get into a useful spot. I like taking my thumbs, wrapping them together, and just kind of having this little this V, because from here I can do blocks. My hands, if they tighten up, I can still get them apart real fast. Another one I like is I like talking with my hands. So my hands are always doing this, doing the finger guns, you know, whatever. But they're always at least at my belly button height, if not solar plex height. I'm not putting them in a straight guard, because that's just inviting the other person to fight with you. I'm still trying to talk them down. But if I'm doing this, I'm saying, man, you know, calm down. I don't want to fight with you. This is a very non-threatening stance. Okay? So I'm going to practice mine today from here. I encourage you guys to find whatever's comfortable for you. You know, try a couple different ones. Maybe you want to be, you know, Jack Benny if you're over the age of 40 and you remember who that is. Right? Maybe you want to stand here like this, because that's a great guard, you know, whether you know it or not. Having hands open. You know, the hey, get away from me, the hey, I give up is actually a surprisingly good guard, because everything can come across or down quickly. My hands are up, they're where they need to be, right? Or even if I just modify that a little bit. This right here, saying, man, I don't want to hurt you. It looks like I'm cowering back, but in reality, it's only about a ½ inch away from my fighting guard, right? And the only difference is whether my hand is touching my chin or not, you know, so. The little cowering back, saying, man, I don't want to hurt you, with my hands open like this, is actually a fighting guard, you know, but it's a non-aggressive. I'm not saying, man, I'm going to fight you. It's saying, hey, man, calm down, back up, right? But at the same time, I'm in a great spot. So I'm going to start from here. You guys work out a couple of them, however you want to do it. But it's going to be a punch to the body and a punch to the face. So the first one, when it comes down, I'm going to take my palm and smash it down here. The second one, as it comes up, I'm going to do a more of like a bent wrist. Okay, so now I can do a regular head block, so palm down head block, or I like doing this palm heel here, because I'm going to turn that into a strike. All right, and I'll show you that. So it comes punch, punch. I'm going to come from here. It's going to open up, and I'm going to aim right for his solar plex, or anywhere in the nipple line here. When I strike that, it's going to jar his diaphragm, that little membrane thing at the bottom of your lungs, that when you get the wind knocked out of you, that's where you're hitting. So it's going to be quick. 1, 2, palm. Okay? So practice that one, both sides, both hands. So if he punches with a different hand, right? Palm, palm, here. Okay? Practice that one back and forth a few times. The next one we're going to work on is right out of Wan Su, except I'm changing it to be a little bit more useful in a street fight. Instead of trying to stab somebody, stabbing somebody with your fingers, unless you train for that literally every day, you're not going to be able to do it. So we're going to make it a little more useful. So the first punch is going to come to the solar plex. I'm going to block across my body, open hand side block. He's going to punch to my face. I'm going to push block here. Now, I'm going to show you guys both sides of this, but this is the best case scenario. His shoulder is away from me. It's blocking most of my body from his vision. He can see my feet, right? but he can't see this hand, right, as it's coming up. So when I do this palm heel, I'm going to come right up under his chin for this uppercut to his chin, or throat punch. It could be either, but it's going to hide behind his arm for most of that trip out there. So he won't necessarily have the ability to block it. Okay, so one more time on that side. I'm sorry, hang on, one more time. Block, open hand across your body, push block across your face, come up underneath for the uppercut. Now, if he punches with the other hand first, or you block across the wrong side first, it doesn't matter, okay? So if he punches with this side first, and I do this block here, and he goes to punch here. Now, this, if he drops his arm, this is, well, imagine it's still there, right? No longer do I have that nice, ability to hide my hand behind his arm for my uppercut. However, I have a couple different options, right? From here, I'm literally in control of this arm. Not complete control, but if he goes to like push it towards me or push it down, right? I can guide that to some extent. Okay, so I can either change that uppercut to an uppercut to the rib cage, which is going to be devastating, or I can bring it up underneath for my uppercut to his chin. If he drops his hand, uppercut to his chin, or uppercut to his rib cage. And my hand there keeps this arm from engaging a block. All right. Now, obviously, yes, I've got to do this quick. Yes, he does have another hand. Yes, there's a lot of things. Yes, he does have some control over me. But usually, speed and purpose dictate, who's winning, right? If I'm faster and already have made the decision that I'm going to be controlling that arm so that I can get my punch in, he still has to react, figure out what it is that's actually going on, decide on his best choice of action for it, overcome my resistance to it, and then affect his block. Not saying it's impossible, right? Nothing's impossible in a fight. People are crazy, but your opponent is human too, okay? It's important to remember. Reflexes can be faster or slower, but they're still within a range of human, all right? Gotta remember that. So, if that punch comes in, if he punches with the opposite sides again here, 1, 2, I'm going to be punching in quick to come up here. Now the other thing is my hand comes here, so I can pop up with a shot to the throat if I need to, or if he comes to punch, I can drop my elbow for that rib, blocking my ribs. Practice that one back and forth a few times. This elbow is a great thing to practice into a bag, okay? Because it's strong, it's fast, right? And you can get some real power into it. The next one we're going to do, I'm going to take a half step back, is blocking with a kamae, right? Our kamae, just like in our kata, is this two-hand guard that we bring from our back hip as we're turning, okay? He's going to throw one of his two punches, okay? Now, it doesn't matter which one he actually throws at me first, because my block is going to be the same. If he throws his one hand first, I'm here, I'm blocking with the back of my hand. My other hand's here as a guard in case he tries to bend his elbow and come through it. Nope, like a hook punch. Right? If his hand starts to come through it, I've still got my guard. Right? If he blocks with his other hand or punches with his other hand, I'm still coming here. Okay? So it doesn't matter which hand he punches first with, my block stays the same. So as this comes in, it's going to be a block. I'm going to kick out the front knee. Because that's going to be the easiest one for me to reach. And as he's reeling from the pain in that and thinking about where he wants to go, I'm going to step in and come across with the elbow. Now when I do my elbow, I'm going to be aiming for the mandibular angle. This little part, it's the back side of your jaw. You can feel it. It's a hard bone on either side. It should be just in front of your ears. Okay? I want to aim for that. Okay? That's going to really do a lot of damage to his jaw. And when it flexes, it's going to do some crazy, it's going to cause some crazy pain, and it could even cause him to go unconscious, right? If it shocks the carotid and the jugular, which ride right behind that, you can cause him to go unconscious. And with an elbow, you certainly got enough power, or your best chance of creating enough power to getting that done. So as this punch comes in, block across. Before this other punch comes in, it's got to be quick. Block, kick, elbow. Now, my hand never comes down from a guard. I'm expecting him to do another punch. If he gets that other punch off, right, my hand's still here in this guard, he's punching me in the arm. Then I can come up and do my elbow, or If I really can't, because he's blasting it hard, I can just twist back the other way and come back for the other side with a hammer fist rather than the elbow. It might not be as effective, but hey, fights are slapping. So practice that one back and forth. The last one we're going to do is with the 2 punches, is I'm going to kind of do a drill from a Chinese drill called Kai Sao. In Kai Sao, it's going to be a lot of rotation, right? If I'm doing this with the camera, it's going to be like a flow or a flow, right? So I'm going to take advantage of one of those motions for my next 2 blocks. So as he comes in to punch, it's going to be like a hook block. So he comes in, hook block, my hands come right back up to guard, hook block. So if he was just throwing a bunch of punches, block, 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 right? And it's going to be push, 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 push. And that gives me the ability to knock him out of the way. So even if he's stronger than me and he's continuing through this punch, right, I'm getting it to the outside of me. So I'm taking, if in ideal case, no damage, but in an unideal case, I'm taking almost no damage as it's a glancing blow, okay? So from here, I'm going to block, 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 and then I'm going to try to anticipate his next one by coming up under his jaw with a bent wrist. Bent wrists are really effective because they're kind of like hammers, okay? Especially to a protruding target like your jaw. If I smash his jaw and his teeth together here with my arm that comes all the way up like this, that's going to do some good damage, right? Part of the reason we do those iron crosses like yesterday's or Monday's workout is holding these up strong here gives you that shoulder strength to really pop that up strong, right? And I don't have to have my elbow extended. I can come up close here, just like that first block that we were practicing. It gives me that strong bent wrist here, and I'm actually attacking, if I use it as a block, I'm attacking the block, right? This one, I'm attacking his jaw. So as it comes in one more time, back up just a step. Block, block, up, okay? If we come in for a little bit of speed, it's going to be quick, right? My hand stays here in a guard. I'm ready for the next one if I need to be, but I'm here, I'm smashing. And now that I've started my forward momentum, if I see this isn't doing enough, I can get right in there to continue driving him backwards, right? And so that I have the better, body mechanics going forward. The last couple we're going to do are just a single punch. So this could be, if they're throwing more than one punch, it doesn't matter. We're reacting to one of them. So if you block, you block, you block, right? Because he throws 5 punches, right? If you react to the last one, then you react to the last one. This one's really fun because this is called like a ghost technique. I personally love this one a lot. If you're in a fight, right, as a part of being under stress, your normal peripheral vision is going to get considerably smaller. It's called tunnel vision. It happens naturally. It's a natural side effect of being stressed. It's having epinephrine and endorphins in your bloodstream causes it because you're going into this fight or flight. You're focusing on the danger, and it's your brain's way of trying to get you to ignore the nonsense stuff that's around you. We're going to use that effect to our benefit here. So as his punch comes in, he's focused on me where I'm at. Basically, what I want to do is I'm going to side slip this punch, and I'm going to hit the line of his sight. Okay? And here's how we're going to do that. Just take a half a minute step by step. As he comes into punch, I'm going to roll block and then step behind him. Okay? Now, ideally, I'm not going to touch him. If I touch him, I give him a clue as to where I've gone. Okay? So if he punches, I'm going to roll, and then I can follow it up. Now, if he keeps stepping far, I might have to open my arm up to do a shudo. I can come back with my elbow. If I manage to catch him in the back of the skull, the top of the spine, that's going to be doing some significant and potentially lethal damage. So make sure, if you're working with a partner, because you're not in an actual fight, that you are not following through on those techniques, because you can cause real damage, okay? Obviously, if you guys are training, you have some concept of what's going on. I'm just giving you the hey, don't hurt him, don't hurt your partner speech. So if I go to the other side, if he punches the other side, to see this technique from the other side, I'm blocking across, stepping behind, and pivoting. Now, if I could, as simply as this, not touch him at all and just start walking past, right? If this is like a drunk friend or something that I don't necessarily want to engage with, but I can't necessarily either talk them out of something stupid, that might be all I do, is he comes in to punch, and now I'm just off walking this way and giving him a solid 10 seconds to figure out, man, what happened? Where is he? Right? And if you do this with somebody and you get it to work, you're definitely going to get that little disorientation of, man, where'd they go? Right? I've done this 1,000 times with dozens of people, and when they do it to me, it still works. Right? Even though you know where they went and you can start looking for them faster, there's still a little bit of disorientation there. All right, so one last time, punch comes on this side, right? Roll, step, elbow, okay? The next one. This one definitely works better if they're bigger or stronger than you, right? When he comes, he's gonna take do a big hook punch to the left side of my head, right? What I wanna start with is a big forearm block. I'm actually striking his arm, okay? So I'm using my forearms to strike his arm. From here, I'm going to catch just a little bit to give me a little bit of push-pull as I use my forearm as a hammer to come in here and strike the side of his neck here, okay? There's a nerve nexus in here called your brachial plexus, and if you smash your partner, they'll start seeing stars, and that's the reason, okay? If you hit that really hard, they're going to go unconscious. So I'm going to give them some help. I'm going to smash it like I mean it, then I'm going to take my other forearm and I'm going to do a hammer fist to my own forearm. Now, this is basically, if you've ever chopped wood before, you take your splitting maul and you smash it into that axe, smash it into that wood, and it goes in, however far. Then you set that down and you take your sledgehammer out and you smash the back of that splitting maul and it goes straight through, okay? It forces that wedge into the rest of the wood, breaking it apart. That's what I'm doing with my arms. So when I come up, this is a strike with a splitting maul here, boom, I get my good spot on, then I take my sledgehammer, I'm going to hit my forearm, and that's going to transition more of the damage into the spot that just got hit, okay? Don't really hit your partner on this one again. Targets like your neck, your solar plex, spine, knees. Be super careful with your partner because you don't want to hurt them, okay? You guys, can work it out with your partner. Your partner says, yeah, I can take a little more. Yeah, I can take a little more. No, man, hang on, back off a step. Have that communication if you're working with a partner so that and you guys can make each other better, okay? So one more time, this punch comes in. I'm going to block 2 forearms, come in, strike here, hammer fist, okay? And I can hit that a couple times if I need to. Quickly, it comes in here, right? And then I'm going to follow up with the hammer fist. Practice that one. And then the last one we're going to do is getting them into an arm bar. So this is more of a controlling technique. I'll show it to you from both sides. Now, this one you can do you can end the arm bar in a couple different ways. I can end it standing or I can end it laying on the floor. It really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Standing is more like you're talking to somebody, being like, all right, man, stop being stupid. I got you. Be done with it. Let's go home. On the floor is like, they won't stop. I need them to stop. Now I'm containing them for a time. Okay. So for this one, what it's going to be is the punch is going to come in. I'm going to tap the back of the hand. I'm going to take this hand down. I'm going to slide it down the arm so that I've got a good strong grip onto his wrist. I'm going to find not his elbow, but about 1/3 of the way up, right? 2/3, 1/3 above his elbow. I'm going to strike it with my forearm into his tricep and then roll it over the top, okay? If I do it from the other side, it's going to be a tap, slide down, again, elbow, shoulder, take it about 1/3. I'm going to strike and roll. Now, if we back up, if I've got him here, this is my standing one, right? I've got this on my hip. I've got my shoulder directly over top of my arm, and it's driving into my knee. If he wants to sit here and fight, okay, this is me just having a conversation with him. Now, if he wants to take this further, basically what I do is I pick up that front foot and I drive it straight into the ground. Now, I have a hardwood floor and I don't feel like breaking Sifu, so I'm not going to do that one to you guys. But just imagine, so from here, all I'm going to do is take this foot out and ride the person to the floor. Are they going to smash your face on the floor? Probably. Do they need that to happen? Also probably, all right? If talking to them wasn't working, then I probably have to take it to that next step. But it's a good point of control. Now from there, if I take Sifu and I just have him lay on the floor to simulate, we've concluded the technique here. You're gonna have to back up so they can see it. Right there. So if he's already all the way on the floor, spread eagle. There we go. What I'm going to want to do is transition from this to this. I'm going to drive my knee into the back of his shoulder here, and I'm going to start picking up on this other one. Now I can sit like this forever. This is quite comfortable to me. If he starts flailing around, I can really put real weight on this. There's a lot of other like pressure points and stuff that I can use if he starts getting really wily, but I'm not going to get into those too far today. Alright, but if I drop that all the way to the ground, my next transition is to get my knee up and my other knee under his arm so that I'm wedging his arm up again, creating that 2 points for my arm bar, and it really turns it into a shoulder bar once he's on the ground. So one more time to go through that one. The punch comes in. That one's fine. It's going to be tap, shudo, arm bar. Okay? We'll do it once for speed. He comes in this side, comes in that side. Okay? I'm going to tap, wrap, roll. And it all comes in together. Alright? With that, those are the ones that I have today. Thank you. A couple quick announcements. So, with those self-defenses, make sure you're practicing them, working with your partner. Don't hurt your partner, obviously. For my Shiage Do students, make sure you guys are coming to the Zoom classes. If you guys are taking videos at home, put them up on the Dropbox so we can take a look at them. Sifu and I both take a look at them so that we can kind of give you guys some feedback and pay attention to what's going on and help you guys with your training at home. If you guys are doing the Avatar Challenge workout, that's coming to a close. So make sure you take your final picture, your final avatar, and upload it, send it to me so that I can put it up on our Facebook page. And if you guys are a YouTube subscriber, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to our video content. I try to put out 4 videos a week during the lockdown, the stay at home. We're in upstate New York, which means that we'll probably be closed the longest of most of the states because of New York City, but you know, we're doing our best here. So we'll be doing this once everything opens back up. Our video upload rate will probably drop just a little bit, but we will keep making videos. So for you guys who are training at home, who don't necessarily have a dojo you can go back to, I will continue making content for you guys. With that, that's what I've got. You guys are awesome. Keep getting after it. You guys are dismissed. Peace.